I'm just going to kind of casually walk through the series of work and try to keep it short. This group of paintings represents the first really 10 years of my art career. In 2001, I had a summer job and I couldn't take it. I couldn't do someone else's project. I just really wanted to be on my own. So I cashed in the RSPs my grandma gave me and I got started. So that was 2001. The first piece here, 2001, is called Smelter. We were living in Middleton at the time. That was inspired by a lot of industrial landscape around that area, trails specifically. And I tried to work away from such obvious titles since then. In 2002, I attended the BC Festival of the Arts, which no longer exists under a Liberal government and in BC. And I won a workshop with an artist called Norman Yates, and he introduced us to the concept of introducing chance into your work. Not having control and just letting nature or letting gravity control the work and pulling back before you normally would. So this painting was completed really rapidly and I felt really retained the magic of that initial response to the canvas. This was from my first installation. One of the best pieces of advice I was given in art school was to always work in series. That way you always have lots of work if you want to make a living, and you can flesh an idea out so much more completely if you take 10 or even 20 tries at it. The installation was called Megalopolis, and it was a continuous panorama that wrapped an entire room. And they were all different sizes, but the landscape connected. Next to that is Scavengers, a little more of a mixed media experiment. One thing that has remained constant in my practice is to always try to introduce a new way of starting a series with a new idea, or I'm still trying to do that, to never be in the same routine. Moving right along to this wall, I think we're in 2005 now. Pascal. I'm trying to move away from being quite so representational and literal, and just trying to loosen my paint strokes and just create a feeling more than specific landscape, which is sort of a default. I end up, everything I start becomes a landscape. That still happens. Metropollination was from my series that traveled to Montreal, and I learned a tough lesson from this trip. To any artists out there, if you ever are asked to pay to have an art show, don't do it, because that's not really how it works. You don't pay to have a show. But the body of work that came out of it was pretty exciting. And, I often work on wood panel, and this was a particularly nice panel, so I wanted to let the wood grain become part of the landscape. This is loaned from the Yukon Permanent Art Collection. It was actually from the same series as Pascal. And what this looks like to me is a city reflective, or aerial view of a city. So I was trying to look at the same landscape from different angles. This was about the time I talked to my grandmother a lot about my artwork and my process, and she really expressed that my work was depressing. And that, everyone has hardships in life, so looking at art reflect that, why shouldn't art be joyful? So I started to make a more concerted effort to bring some life and some brighter energy into the paintings. So this year I started to introduce kind of some characters, as well as try to introduce some foreground and background, and try to create more of a space you could enter, like a narrative that you could insert yourself into. This was called The Last Effort. Probably still my favorite painting. Attack of the Danger was from a series that was shown here in 2007. It was another kind of panorama series, and the continuing thread was this kind of a gaylord railway that connected the whole scene, and I kind of thought of it as the unnatural wonders of the world. Tourists exploring that. We're living on the Sunshine Coast now, and lots of boats around, and I'm always really intrigued in drawing and photographing the boats. I think they have a lot of symbolic energy. I feel they represent, safety and darkness, as well as commerce and human ingenuity and disaster, adventure, just everything. And they can have so much character. So I created this piece with a lot of collage, which I kind of, I come back and forth into collage. It's a fun way to paint because you can move something around, find out exactly where it belongs, and get it right place. This one is called Overlooking Elderberry, and it's a little closer, I think, to traditional landscape than I ever went before, so I just included it. I felt like it was a bit of a unique piece. When I title, my husband Tony helps me, we really try to create titles that open the opportunity to translate, as opposed to, telling you what the piece is about. We try to create more questions than answers. So, that's that. You can get theirs here. An experiment in collaging my own drawings, which was an epiphany. This one is also on loan from the Yukon Permanent Collection. They acquired this year. I'm super honored and excited that this stays in the Yukon. It's called Firewalking in the South Seas, and it's a dreamscape. I often paint this dreamscape that feels familiar to me. It's often very rosy, and it's often kind of apocalyptic, but exciting and warm. These are from a series called Rivers and Logs. We're on the coast, and we see a lot of logs leave the area, so as always, my paintings are a reflection of what I take in from day to day. So these are inspired by that. And then we're already at 2010. 2011 is from here down. My work changes a lot, but in the last couple of years, it's really kind of accelerated. Series are more and more different from each other. So I was interested in quilting, but I didn't feel I could really take on another craft, and it occurred to me to do it in paint. And I started with doing a full-size quilt, and then refined it more into these pictorial storytelling quilts. And what I love about quilting is that the whole thing could be a story, and then each square within that could be a story. And then within that, each textile could be from any number of places. And it could just translate 100,000 ways. I could, dig into that series a bit more. Getting close to the end here. It's a long way. After the quilting series, I was really tired. A lot of painting every textile, so my goal was to create a more singular narrative and make a painting that was iconic and seemed to portray some kind of a legend, even though I don't know what that would be, but hopefully someone looking at it would have a feeling for what that was. And I've been using these dots. They've been popping up a lot, and to me they kind of indicate like maybe points of interest on a tourist map, or even refer to modern technology like Google Maps and modern. Another piece in the quilting series. And then the last piece in the show is from 2011. It's called Centerfold, and it really has become a combination of a lot of the painting styles that I've tried to create over the years. So each cloud I tried to make out of different things I've learned. So it's like a stew. That's it.
Do you want to field any questions?
Sure. Thanks, Jerome.
No, thank.
Anyone have any questions about the work? Okay.